What is up, everybody? So Christmas rerun is going on, and it's boring and horrible, and they added nothing at all. So we're going to be doing Lostbelt instead. Why am I not surprised by this, by the way? Like, they literally, hey Heel, what's up? Thank you for the resub. But they literally added nothing. Like nothing. Not like, not a costume, not an animation update, not a new command, not just nothing. It's like, it's great. When was the last time they actually updated somebody that was a day one servant? Like, cause you know, they did Okita, but she wasn't a day one, and that was actually her second animation update. And Scath wasn't day one either. Was it like Steno? That's the last one I remember was Steno. Oh yeah, they gave an animation update to the fucking gift box, cause you know, that's what we needed. I thought they'd add a costume or something, but no. No, Tori already had an animation update, so that doesn't count as day one either. Yeah, there was Hans, but I think wasn't Steno after Hans? I just remember it was like 2.5 years ago or some shit where they were like, yeah, we're gonna work on getting all the day one servants done by like the end of the year. It's like, yeah, right. You know, it really, like, I remember when this game was like 3 years old. Oops, I'm starting Christmas, that's the wrong thing. But I remember when, guys, it's Lostbelt. See, that's the tree back there. I remember when this game was like 3 years old. I remember thinking, man, it's pretty pathetic when you have a company making this much money and you still have such a huge amount of characters with these pathetic, you know, garbage day one animations. I was like, I mean, that's kind of silly. And now we're 5.5 years in, and it's like, yeah, we still have a fuckload of day one garbage animations. It literally doesn't even make sense, because, you know, sometimes, you know, companies are just greedy, and it is what it is. You know, and they mainly will focus on things that are like, you know, profitable and not necessarily keeping the player base happy, right? But like, from a business standpoint, you want people's first impression of your game to be good, right? Can you imagine if, like, because you're kind of at the mercy of what random, when you start the game, right? You're a newbie, you know, you don't know what's going on, right? And the first chunk of servants you could get could easily be a chunk of servants that all have terrible animations, right? You could get Darius, Leonidas, you know, Mozart, you know, Proto-Ku, that kind of thing, right? And then you play the game and you're like, wow, these characters look awful, right? But oh, look, I summoned a friend's 5-star from the support list and they look good, right? Like that's not a good impression. You don't want that. Honestly, I always say this, Leonidas' animations are not good, obviously, but for day one animations, they're better than everyone else's, right? Like, they're passable, kind of, but still not amazing. Alright, this is gonna be annoying right here, this fight. Let me think. So we want Valkyrie to die really, really fast. Preferably, I don't want to summon anything that's going to be too, you know, LOL, I'll murder everything. I think we'll go with, like, just Bedivere. Like, that's fair. You know, he's strong, but not, gonna run everything. Give me a second, I gotta log on the main. I feel really bad for Ushi fans right now. It is kind of whack. Surely that's gonna, like, no one's so dumb to not, like, you know, capitalize on that at some point, right? So, I guess they kind of already missed that boat. Because the Babylon hype is kind of gone now. Alright, what's a CE that's, like, reasonable? It's just 50% starting NP. There we go. I won't even use Golden Sumo. We'll do Drunken Jolter. That's pretty reasonable. Nothing all that strong about that one. I don't know if they'd give Ushi another version or not, because she's got her summer version. I don't know, it wouldn't surprise me either, because she is pretty popular, and they do like money, so... Oh my god, can you imagine if you were a Fate fan, and then you saw the Babylon anime, and then you get into FGO, and you like, you try to focus on getting Ushi, and then you get the albino goblin. It's, pretty shitty. Let's see. What are the gimmicks here? I want to say there's like a fast charge something or other. I think Scatty just hits crazy hard, like her normal card damage, because they decided because her NP doesn't do any damage, they were going to make her normal card damage just like through the fucking roof. Ushi's going to be good. Ushi's the only real DPS rider we actually have leveled on this account. Oh, joy. Okay, let's see. I kinda want to start with Hans, maybe. We gotta NP real quick. See, what is... We're not gonna be able to NP quite on turn 1. Don't remember if there's debuffs here. Valkyrie's got sure hit, but we're gonna try to kill her before she NPs. That's like the whole plan here. Alright, try number 1. I remember Alex is really good here because Scatty has a lot of buffs and you can just yoink them. And the charm is actually helpful. Like even on Nene where you don't have the buff removal. Remember when Atalante had Atalante Alter, but her original form didn't have an animation update yet? And then you could see them standing next to each other? That was so sad, because Atalante looked like a droopy dog almost, right? It is so bad. Okay, only 108k health. Oh look, she starts with her NP! I didn't remember that one. I guess Caesar's gonna NP the first health bar then. Pretty sure Valkyrie dies here. Feels bad. I think both of them die here. Waver's okay. Like the main issue is his character model doesn't look very good. Like when you compare it to newer stuff, it's very noticeable. But his attacks are okay. It's not like you're really expecting a support like him to do anything too crazy. So yeah, the attack animations are decent, but I think his character model is pretty noticeably out of date. Should give Bediveri's NP here. Hoping that damage cut doesn't run everything, it shouldn't. Yeah, Shakespeare and Mozart really need it because it's not just that their animations are so bad, they're units that are so commonly used, right? Especially for like free-to-play and new players and that kind of thing, so they really need that. Because people see them a lot. They're around quite a bit. Alright. Gotta kill it now. I think he can kill without... using the attack up. He's got the defense up, but we have Buster. We'll be fine. Now this is blatantly not what they've done, but what I would do if I was CW is if they're having like, you don't have enough artists, then you just hire a few artists to basically do nothing but work on animation updates until you get, you know, everyone in the game looking acceptable. Yeah, this event's pretty Snoresville. I'm hoping we'll see more, you know, hopefully there's a new main story coming, and then the next Christmas event, and hopefully they'll do some animation updates in there. Main stories do generally update at least one old servant. Not always, but normally. Who do we want? I almost want to not have Caesar die, because he could get his NP again, and I could break a health bar. I could, you know, evade him and taunt with Shin Gong. I think we want Shin Gong to die the most right now. Because he gives battery on death, so. The main thing is just taking out Valkyrie fast, and just having enough riders in the back. I don't really have great riders in the back, so that might be a problem, but generally that's the way to go. Just murder Valkyrie, then make your back row a bunch of riders, and then good to go. Now, 34k ain't so great to use his NP on, but I don't really want to... Like, I don't want to use the evade on him if I can help it. Glad we have crit down. Probably take 2 turns to break otherwise. Yeah, I think we just do his NP for the 34k. Besides, we can do a quick chain and make a bunch of stars off of it. That's not so bad. She can crit riders to death, but she won't generally one-shot them, so having some survival skills and your Mystic Code kind of guarantee a few turns here and there is the way. It's really nice if you've got a rider with crit down now. Crit down is like, if you don't have like a really strong account that can just be like, you know, boom, 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 they're dead. I should have brought Atlas. I didn't realize that was a thing. That sucks. But yeah, if you can't, you know, DPS blitzers super fast, having someone with crit down is huge. Don't worry, guys. George has got this. Nice hand. Look at this. We got 80, 50, 100. Because, you know, we made a bunch of stars last turn. We could, like, rip up this health bar and then get Ushi's NP. But nope. Einstein over here didn't bring Atlas because I forgot that there was, like, a stun gimmick going on. I don't think I taunt yet because we kind of want Bedivere to die. It feels bad. I made so many stars! Yeah, for once George didn't do his thing. Alright. God, I'm so pissed about that last hand, because now Ushi's gonna lose her quick buff, but what are you gonna do? Could have just Herc Smash, that's not so bad. Who needs MPs when you have red cards? This is destroying our Ushi NP game, but what do you know. I'm not gonna NP until the next health bar at this point. There's no point. I guess I healed George. It's okay. I think it's his NP, that's actually good. I should have tried harder to break that turn, but I don't think it would have happened. Okay, I'm gonna evade now because I just want to make sure she doesn't die this turn. Yeah, I've always said I'd like a George MP upgrade. It wouldn't make him overpowered because he's more of a tank anyway, but then having some DPS on the side would be kind of nice. And they need budget art writers. It'd be kind of fun to use them like that. Probably gonna win right here. Although we obviously we have no buffs for Ushi because they messed all that up, but oh well. She might actually live because we don't have like charisma or any of that, but it'll be close. Nah, she's probably dead. George does okay damage. Yeah, she's dead. How about a George animation update? That'd be nice. Dragon King, yep. Alright, so Ryder was the first tree, and I know for a fact Lostbelt 3 is an assassin, so this must be a caster. It's Ushi again. I remember Martha can solo this, but I feel like if we summon that Martha, that's too much. Let's try to be a little bit more reasonable here. I think this boss has like a lot of defense up or something like that. Let's go with Ricky Boy. Double Ushi's probably better, but this is more fun. Might bring Medea just to yeet the defense buffs at some point. Alex would be really, really good, but don't have him on this account. We're not leveled anyway. Could summon Alex, I suppose. Oh yeah, we have Martha. I really need to level her. I legitimately don't want to bring Hercules for this. I'd rather have like Medea in there than Hans and Shingon and all that, but gotta get that bond. Oh yeah, this account doesn't have Medea leveled. That's abnormal. She's normally a staple for me, but not this time, I suppose. I think there are debuffs here. I don't know how bad they are, though. Atlas is okay, though, for the cooldown reduction on Ricky. It's pink.
自爆しかありますまい。温情な呵責なく。
Might have been better to just do damage, but
好きですよ。
anything right off the bat will
こ
work
のよ
out.
うに攻めるのです。
Or not. Oh yeah, I remember this thing's got some nasty debuffs. Like Martha was so good for soloing it. Crit down's good.
出直していらっしゃい。
Not gonna get much value out of the Buster Up, so just throw it out now.
かけろブリリア道路。虹の彼方にて光を放て。セルマンデ・デュランダル。
Man, that's a lot of NP down. Hmm. I know I could have done a Brave Chain, but I kind of want to try to get Ricky's NP again. And yeah, he's awesome. One of the better 3-star additions, and like he filled a role that they already had for low stars, but he's different enough that, you know, it's like he can fill the role, but he also offers something unique, which is nice. And then having 2 good DPS budget writers is nice anyway, and his design's good and all that, so it's pretty awesome. Because some people don't like Ushi, right? So it's nice to have another writer DPS. This is not an anti-Merlin fight at all. You can so easily use Merlin here. Like, his NP battery doesn't care about NP down. You still get a massive amount of damage up, and invulnerability still works really well. Like, it's not a problem at all. I almost want to not NP even though we got all these buffs, because we can get through this health bar pretty quick. Nah, I should probably bust it. I know, dude, I've used Ushi so much throughout like all my accounts and all my videos, and yeah, she looked like the ass the entire time, so... I mean, surely she's going to get an animation update sooner rather than later at this point. I don't know, maybe they literally just didn't think that the Babylon anime was any kind of signal to give her an animation update. 300,000 though. Thought about going with Ricky's art card, but I figure if we can get some crits here. The thing is, you're not supposed to do Lostbelt 5 if you're under a prepared account. Like, I really stand by that. It's so far into the game. You're not supposed to do that. You should not be able to beat Lostbelt 5 if you're an under-prepared account. Like, it's so far into the game, right? And it's such a big deal story-wise and everything. And it's not like they're asking that much of you. Like, yeah, if you get to Demeter and you're a shitty account, you know, you need to level like Ush. Let's say maybe you have some gold servants that might make this easier. But if you don't, let's say you have no gold riders, like Ozzy or Martha, something like that, then you're gonna need to level like Alex, Ushi, and Ricky, right? That's not asking too much of you for a story that far into the fucking game. Like, it really isn't. I have a feeling this thing has like pierced invulnerability or something. Like I think something's going to go wrong here, but we shall see. That Brave Chain was so tempting because there's a lot of crits in there. No, guess we're good. Removed our stuff though, so now we don't have invulnerability or evading anymore. I think it removes defensive buffs with his NP, but it's after damage. That's bad though, because they're both so close to getting their NPs, but they're probably gonna die. Definitely, Ushi's gonna die. And she's the one with the Brave Chain. Can George clean up? Thought about going with Ricky because he could get his NP, but I'll take the damage while I got it. That was so little damage though, never mind, I should have gone with the NP. Ushi dying with her NP. This boss has triple defense up. Imagine if our final unit was Alex or Medea, you know, and just get rid of all those defense buffs. Be real nice. Well, Ricky's doing his thing. Feels bad. It's so helpful though. It'll make up for a lot of the defense up, hopefully. Ooh, that damage. So shit. 18,000, yep. That's a lot of defense up. And George doesn't hit that hard to begin with. That helps so much though. And it actually gets Herc to do some decent damage there, so Ricky kind of winning it for us there. Look at George almost looping. Should have cast his attack up last turn. It actually might have been it probably wouldn't have killed. I don't think it'd have been a 9k difference, but it'd have been really close. And depending on low high rolls, it could have resulted in a win. By the way, it's a dragon. It's actually a double dragon. Man, George taking people to town. Much George cleanup. Yeah, Herc didn't really do anything on either of those last two setups. But he collected the bomb though. Alright, well that's Lostbelt 2. That was easy. Yeah, Lostbelt 1 and 2 ain't too big of a deal. So we might do a chunk of Lostbelt 3 soon. But I'm not gonna like go that far into it because I said last stream I wanna farm some events a bit. I want to get my Herc up. I think we could honestly beat Lostbelt 3 with what we have right now. I think we could, but it wouldn't be as fun, right? So I want to take my time. Also, it gives Herc time to get grills. But yeah, we'll come back to it though after a few events. But Lostbelt 3 is going to be hard. It's a real step up in difficulty. The big like difficulty spikes, I would say, I guess the final boss of Oceanus is the first difficulty spike, just because if you haven't like leveled anything yet and you just started and you get there like day 1, that boss can definitely be a bit of a problem. And then the next one's Camelot. That's like the biggest one. You know, Gwaine is a big slap in the face, and there's no difficulty spike since then until Lostbelt 3, I would say. And then the next one would be Lostbelt 5. But that's pretty reasonable, I would say. Oh, actually, we'll probably get 2 new grails pretty soon, because I think they're probably going to add a new story soon, and that'll have a grail in it, at least one. And then we'll get a new Christmas event, and that'll have a grail. So we might do Lostbelt 3 right after the new Christmas event. I think that would be a good time. And that would give this account enough time to, you know, get a few units leveled, get a little farming in, you know. The final fight in Oceanus was the Demon Pillar. And if you're not, like, leveled up a bunch, it's pretty tough for, like, newer people, for sure. Alright, I guess we'll do some Christmas, because I do need to do all 10 lotteries on this account. I want to make sure we get the mats and the skill gems. And there's some okay stuff in the shop, too, honestly. Do I have any of the currency stuff? Probably not. I haven't done any FP, and that's fine, though. I think this is like a story thing. You just fight 3 enemies or something like that. Who else do I need bond on? George makes sense. Everyone else, though, like that makes sense on is so far away from getting it. It doesn't seem too good. I kind of want to grab bond then on people I'm planning on leveling later. I think I already got it on Fionn. Oh, we have Ricky Boy. Nice. I'll leave level of VC Braun at some point, so yeah, get his bond up. It sucks I have no CEs. I should roll FP some. Yeah, I know. DW is kind of the last 2 years. It's obvious the amount of welfares they've gotten has been very low in comparison to like the earlier days in the game. It sucks. I would imagine they'll give. They've never not given a welfare for Christmas, so I'm sure the new Christmas event will have a welfare in it. Obviously, it's going to be, you know, Santa something, but like, there's no way they would randomly stop doing that. Like, they couldn't get away with that, I don't think. Even with this subpar damage boost, Mystic Code, I think Arash will probably take care of business here. Oh yeah. Man, stage 1 of VC Braun looks weird. I want Santa, Caesar. It's Justice right there. Alright, let's grab some apples, I guess. Stage is probably completely worthless, but whatever. Scatty's not helpful here at all, but I'm wanting to give myself FP, so... Hey, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. A-Stone? I-A-Stone? Something? Esteroni? Something? Anyway, 5 months, thank you. Santa Gramps? That's never gonna happen. That'd be funny, though. I don't think it's gonna be a male. It just doesn't really happen. Male welfares are... There's no point in rushing this wave. I could kind of see them doing Sansa Martha. She's popular. They did the Ruler Martha though, so they might not bother. But Nightingale was pretty random, so who knows what they're gonna do. They're not gonna do any Canis versions for a while. She's too recent. Also, there's no reason they would use Canos. If they use Canis, it's gonna be Canis, and if, like, so they're not gonna do anything with that. I think they might make a Canos version someday, but I'm definitely not holding my breath on that one. Like, I would not bet any money on it. Santa Medea. Does she get an actual NP multiplier? That'd be nice. Scatty carried. Yeah, no, that was not a trend. That was a classic case of people seeing patterns where they don't exist. And obviously, you know, because most of the cast has been used in a main singularity, most of the welfares at some point have shown up in a singularity, but I mean, that goes for every, like, welfare ever. Even Ryder Kentucky, for God's sakes. Hey, Zerp. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. As I just sit here and do, you know, boring ass, okay, we'll give Rex some FP here. Gotta, you know, feed the kids, you know. Santa George, now that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But I don't think you know, they do male welfares once in a blue moon, but I don't think it's ever for Christmas. It's just too easy to. Yeah, I don't see them doing it right. It's too good for them to you know, waifu it up for the Christmas shtick. So I don't see them changing that. But you never know. They break trends. What I really care about more than the welfare, though, is just them doing animation updates and making the game better. You know, that's what I care about. Because I think it's more than warranted, right? All the complaining about, like, how dated the game is warranted. It's kind of like when people get mad at people pointing out how bad this game is, it's kind of like, imagine someone's on trial for murder, right? And then their defense is, oh yeah, you would bring up that one time I killed somebody. It's like, please, it's like, oh, this is fine, you know, as the house burns down. It's like, it's really obvious. And it's a problem. Hey, Beastly. Yeah, Beastly, I hope that all works out. I won't go into detail about it unless you want me to, but, yeah, I don't know if, if you want to talk about that nonsense or not. Sounds like a good defense to me, right? It's fine to talk about it. Okay, so this is another example of FGO being hilariously broken and out of date, and it's being more than reasonable to complain about it because this is a huge problem. Somebody stole Beastly's account using the account recovery system, right? Because all the questions on the account recovery system are unbelievably easy for someone to get, even if they don't have access to your account. Thankfully, Beastly's going to be able to get it back, most likely anyway, because he has he's bought an SQ and he's got like the Google purchase, history. So, he sent them those codes and everything, so he should get it back, but he's not, he won't be able to play for a few days, and, it can take a while. But yeah, I've said this before, this is why when people always ask me what phone I use, I don't answer, and like, there's a lot of, like, I won't show the master profile page and stuff like that, because, like, most of the information you need to steal someone's account is already available. Never mind being a streamer, like, it's just available to everyone. Right? It's just like looking at your fucking support list and seeing their skill ranks and shit. Like, it's stupid. Like, it's not hard to yeet someone's account, especially if they are a streamer or something and you're like obsessively following them, right? Speaking of which, I actually am going to purchase SQ on my main account shortly to make sure I've got a nice recent code for that. Because I don't want my account getting yeeted, and I don't really ever buy SQs, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make an exception, and I'm going to buy SQ one time. So yeah, guys, you can call me a whale now, because I'm going to have to buy some SQ in a bit. But, yeah, I want to have the security, so... I know, the Binco system's a joke. The fact that this, again, 5.5 years, roughly, right? They've had more than enough time to get this shit sorted and make a proper account system, right? More than enough time, and they haven't. I'm tired of fucking people being like, oh, you guys are just complaining. It's like... Yeah, you would complain when your fucking house is on fire. Like, no shit, Einstein. It's like, there's so much unacceptable garbage with the way DW runs this game. And like, we're supposed to just sit here and be like, oh no, everything's fine. But yeah, it's pretty lame that you can yeet people's accounts that way. But yeah, that's why there's a lot of information I just don't share. And people are constantly asking me what phone I'm using. I'm like, I'm not answering that. It's literally one of the questions. But yeah, somebody really wanted Beastly's Fujino. Actually, they probably yeeted it to sell it. That's normally what people like that do. It's either that or they're trolls, right? Some people are just trying to waste your time, piss you off. Like, like, I'm honestly surprised I haven't had more issues with this because, I'm a fairly, I don't know, controversial person sometimes. A lot of people don't like me. So I'm surprised I haven't had, like, someone just try to, be an ass for the sake of being an ass. Like, oh, that guy said he didn't like my waifu, so I'm gonna, fuck with him. People do that. Like, people really do stupid shit like that, because people can be pretty pathetic like that. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised I haven't had to deal with it yet. But yeah, it's either people, like, account phishing, trying to sell it for money, or it's somebody that has a personal issue with you, and they're just trying to fuck with you, because they know that you're probably gonna get it back, but they want to, inconvenience you and piss you off. They haven't cleared the friends list either. Yeah, I think they're either trying to sell it or they're just trying to piss you off. But you're generally not really a controversial person at all, I would say. So it's probably someone trying to sell it. But yeah, it sucks. He's missing out on the event and the login streak and all that stuff. Just see how many apples this account has after this. A 1 to 3 star account has a lot more than this account does, and I kind of want to save what I do have for when we do story stuff. But because I think you can clear all the lotteries just by doing your natural AP, so it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, you have to email them in Japanese, but thankfully there's enough people out there that will help with that kind of thing. Like, not just on our Discord, but just like in the community in general. Oh, we can't do the next one. But the apple, it's right there. Only a silver though. But yeah, there's normal people that will help you with that kind of stuff. If you need to do stuff in Japanese. And I'm lucky, I know like 6 people that speak Japanese and can write Japanese and stuff, so if I ever have a problem with that, I'll have a lot of people to help me. But I know, the account recovery questions are bullshit. Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, you don't have to, like, stalk someone to figure this shit out, right? Like, most of this stuff is displayed on your goddamn, you know, support list, right? I'm actually thinking I might have to start making a custom UI, though, to cover up some of that information so I don't show, like, my rare prisms and my mana prisms and that kind of crap. Because, honestly, as a streamer, it is so easy for people to get literally every single question, right? Like, it's easy as fuck. Because most of the information they can get anyway, and the few things they can't, you're gonna see if you're streaming, so... But, like, that's not... Dude! What fucking year is it? It's 2020, and these still have... Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm so tired of people acting like there's a problem with people pointing out how trash FGO is. Because this is not acceptable. It's 2020... and they have a fucking way to yeet people's accounts that you can get all the information if you're just a streamer, right? Because, you know, no one streams in 2020, right? It's not like that's a fucking staple of entertainment in the modern world or anything. Like, it's just, what is wrong with them? Like, this game's been out for 5 fucking years, and they're using this garbage-ass account system. Like, are you kidding me? And this isn't, like, top priority for them to fix it. Like, it's just insane. Like, I mean, literally, look at the, like, how easy it is to yeet someone's account, right? Like, it's just stupid. Like they're acting like people don't stream or something. And even if you're not a streamer, like I said, most of this information could be found anyway. Right? We're in the age of social media, right? And people, you know, show like, oh, I burned someone, and then people see their rare prisms, you know, just through a screenshot on Discord or on Reddit or on Facebook, right? Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just pathetic. Like, it'd be one thing if this was some small indie dev that just randomly made a game, right? And they're kind of behind the times. But they're not. And they have one of the largest publishers on the planet, right? Their higher ups is Sony. Like, and this is one of the most relevant games. Every time Sony has like a, you know, annual, you know, revenue thing, one of their top things is FGO. Sony has very much cares about FGO, right? It's one of their top money makers. And it's like this, you know, they use this unbelievable, they don't even have an account system. You know, their account recovery thing is obviously exploitable, and it's extra exploitable if someone happens to be a streamer, which again, it's 2020. You should be expecting people to stream your game and hoping they do. Like, fucking, it's just stupid, dude. Like, I'm tired of how bad this company is, right? I'm tired of it. Because, you know, the artists do such good work. The artists put a lot of effort into what they make. Seriously, the artists put in so much time and stuff into the character designs and everything. You know, the writers put in effort, the voice actors put in effort, and then DW's over here, you know, trying to reload their Civil War musket, right? It's stupid. I'm not gonna apologize for pointing out how bad this fucking game is, because this is unacceptable. Like, it's fucking 2020. Your game's been out for 5 years. You make more money than God, and your fucking publisher is Sony. And this is the state of your game. Right, like this, like all you like. I can't believe like what the account recovery questions are. Like, it's absurd, and the fact that that's how you're like, this is how you manage your account instead of like having a normal fucking account, you know, that you link to an email and that kind of thing. Like, you know, every other game on the planet, right? And it's like, again, this game was made a long time ago, so I'm like, oh, you know, we didn't have the systems in place at the time. It's been over 5 years. It's been over 5 years. You have had more than enough time to make a proper account system. Like, I mean, this is absolutely stupid. Like, it's abso-fucking-lutely stupid. There's like a pseudo account system for like, it's like just for like Apple devices. And it's like, it doesn't work very well. But yeah, there's like, if you have a very specific type of device and stuff, you can kind of have a normal account. But you know, never mind making it for everyone. Like this should be top fucking priority, right? Because that's such a basic thing, account stuff is such a basic thing. It should be such a high priority. I mean, I know some people complain about it in JP, but I think one of the biggest problems with FGO and why it is run like a fucking, you know, clown show is because so many people, the only real mobile game they've ever played is FGO. And it was the first mobile game I ever played too. But I have enough fucking awareness to check out, and I know it's reasonable even if I'm not familiar with an industry, and this account system is obviously not reasonable. But it's like, I've seen this a lot, and I've seen people admit to this a lot, where really the only mobile game they play is FGO. So they don't realize how out of date trash this is, right? Like how fucking unacceptable the account system is, and like how slow they are to add content, and you know, the old day one animations and no safety net and you know, all this nonsense, right? Like they don't realize how behind the times this game is. And there are certain things that I don't think it's reasonable to complain about when it comes to a game being old. You know, like I'm not expecting the graphics to suddenly be way better. But I have no problem with the graphics, right? And honestly, because it's sprite-based, you know, that generally ages pretty well. Although they keep relying on CGI, and that doesn't age very well, which blows my mind that they keep using more and more CGI. Like seriously, sprite-based stuff ages amazingly well, right? Animation just ages well, and it's because it's timeless. Right? So they're like lucky that this game uses sprites because that'll age very, very well. But they keep using more and more CGI, and that ages like a trash can. And so, you know, every time they do use CGI, it looks terrible because this is a really old game. So it's like, why? Why would you? But they do it because they're just, you know, it's easy and it's lazy. But yeah, like the graphics are not really something I'm going to complain about with this game. I don't really expect that to be, you know, groundbreaking or anything, you know, latest technology or anything like that. But when it comes to, you know, just basic UI design, account stuff, you know, effort being put into the game, you know, 0 game modes in 5.5 years, you know, that kind of stuff, you bet your ass I'm going to complain about. Because I just think it's like if somebody's on trial for murder and like, oh yeah, you're going to bring up the time I killed somebody. Like, oh, how unfair is that? Like, can you imagine a defendant, like it's somebody, you know, again on trial for murder, and their defense is, I'm so tired of listening to you all bring up the same points of, you know, the blood and the DNA and the pictures I took of the victim. Can't y'all come up with some new evidence? Like, yeah, no shit. It's like, you know, if you'd put the fire out, I'd stop complaining about the fire. Yeah, I know Zeus's CGI's not so good. I don't think it's really, now that I've done each free quest once, I'm not sure it's really worth it for me to use apples on this account. So I guess we'll play the 1 to 3 star account some, and maybe the main account, just cause, what else am I gonna do, so. And, this event is so pointless and you only can do 10 lotteries, so I can dick around as much as I want. Unfortunately, these stages are awful for dicking around because they're so easy, so. Yeah, I guess we'll do the 1 to 3 star account just cause, it's pretty behind and it needs to get some farming in and whatnot too in the long run. Oh yeah, Lee. Oh god, we're not ready for that. Actually, we are ready for that. Like, I think we can beat it with what we have. Like, if Beast... Oh wait, actually we can't. Beastly was our guy that was, you know, slotting a... Because I can't slot my Mori. My Mori breaks the rules because he's grailed, right? And we're trying to do it without breaking the rules. And Beastly was our guy for slotting Mori that was level 70, but his was 10-10-10, and he had good command codes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we beat these students. That's over. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait until Beastly gets his account back, so feels bad. Alright, well, I'm going to do like the bare minimum on this account for the event. I'm basically going to do the 10 lotteries and grab like the hero proofs and that's it, because like other than that, this account doesn't need stuff from it. But I do want to get the skill gems. That'd be really good. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying Lee right now a little bit just for funsies, but I only have access to a Grailed Mori or Moris that are like subpar, and it won't. If you're gonna use a 70 Mori, it can't be subpar. You know, it's got to have that. You know, 10, 10, 10 command codes and then a good 3-star CE, right? Because if you're 3-star CEs are so bad, you gotta have the best one, you know, otherwise you don't got room for shitting around with that kind of thing. I have Mori 70, 10 to 10 on my ult, but it doesn't have the same quality of command codes. Yeah, I probably won't. I think we're gonna need the command codes because we were so pushing it. Like, we were really pushing our luck. Because even with all that stuff, you're gonna need really good luck to win. Like, you're gonna need really good luck to win. I've been leveling Babbage on this account though, because he might help. Actually, we never banned 2K Foe. It's just I haven't really used them, and I don't expect a 70 Mori to do that because that's not reasonable at all. This account has a 70 Mori though, and it's been getting some okay command codes for him. I mean, we never said the restriction was no gold items. That never came out of my mouth. The restrictions are 1 to 3-star units and 1 to 3-star craft essences. That's it. And I've only repeated that about, I don't know, 950 times over the last few years. And that's more restrictions than anyone else on the internet has done. Because people like to act like, you know, craft essences aren't a huge factor, but they're massive. 3-star craft essences is one of the most limiting things you can possibly do, and they make your account absolute garbage, but you know. Yeah, people always get on me for like, why do you repeat the same stuff? It's because there's always fucking retards in chat. Like, you realize how often I have to deal with morons in chat that are just like, you know, like can't read the stream title for God's sakes and shit like that? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, dude's asking like a smart ass, like, why are you doing the lottery drops? Right? Because like, oh, it's almost like I haven't even done this stage once ever and I want the apple and I have 1 million ult accounts and I'd rather get the lottery cleared than, you know, overfarm an event shop that I don't care about. I wonder. Every fucking time I play the 1 to 3-star account, it's like, it's just so much idiocy. I've brought in Berserkers against foreigners before too. Sometimes you just kind of forget. It's not even about like NP ranks and stats and stuff, it's like options. There's just so many things that are just impossible with 3-star craft essences. They don't have a way of having high starting NP or having any starting NP with any kind of extra damage, right? And they don't have star bombs, there's just so many things that they just don't have. You know, they don't have taunts, they don't have, you know, piercing vulnerability, and hell, they don't even have sure hit outside of limited 3-star CEs and stuff like that. So it's like, there's just so many like things that you can make trivial. It's like, oh, I'll just bring a sure hit CE, but if you're doing 3-star CEs, you can't do that. Like, oh, I'll bring high starting NP, but you can't do that. You know, they don't have any good NP, you know, like refund type CEs, anything like that. And then your damage sucks. Like the damage on 3-star CEs is just awful. And the only 3-star CEs that can like do okay damage and like not hold you back too much, or ones that, you know, give you absolutely no starting NP and no way to get NP faster, right? And because if you're doing 3-star units, you're not going to have batteries like Waver or Scatter or anything like that. So there's just you can't have both. There's no getting an NP quickly and doing decent damage. It's one or the other. You either do subpar damage, or you do atrocious damage, and then you have starting NP. So it's subpar damage and starting NP, or I'm sorry, no, it's subpar damage and no starting NP, or garbage damage and starting NP. That's your two options, right? Yeah, the hardest thing, honestly, on the 1 to 3 star account so far is still not Sitting Master, Horsebindo and Landling, you know, Pretty Boy. Like that, so far, that has been the hardest. Like, that was harder than these students. Because we were like technically stuck on these students longer, but that's because I wasn't playing. In terms of like number of attempts and amount of like, you know, farming that needed to be done and things like that, Landling and Horsebindo were the hardest by far. And that fight is just, it's easy to not notice it when you're using stronger stuff because you can kind of just get through it really quickly. But like AoE fights like that and stuff really disproportionately affect, you know, handicapped accounts like that. And I mean, that was just so hard. Yeah, Lostbelt 5, we're gonna have to break the rules for Lostbelt 5. I know the game well enough. It's just there's no way. And unless they buff some like really key low stars or add some really broken command codes or something, there's no way. Like Demeter maybe. Honestly, I think Demeter might be doable with 3-star craft essences. You know, if you bring all the best budget riders, you got Ricky, Ushi, Alex, you know, that might work. I think you'll need some, you know, luck with crits and that kind of thing. But that might work, right? I'm not sure though. Like it's certainly doable if you're not using 3-star craft essences. I've already beat it with 3-star units before, with no one being grailed and that kind of thing. But that was, you know, using things like Golden Sumo and stuff like that. So with 3-star craft essences, it might be impossible. It might be impossible. We'll see. I'll definitely try though. But I do think Lostbelt 5 is going to force us to break the rules. Lostbelt 4 might too, actually, and it's not really any of the fights I think people would think would be a problem. The final fight with God Juno will be fine, because you can beat it with just Karna if you use all the budget taunts. You know, like George, Leonidas, Ben K, I'm serious, that kind of thing. So that's not a problem. Maybe a little bit of luck because we won't have any good CEs, but that should be fine. The problem is going to be Limbo and God Juna. I don't see how the fuck you're going to do that with these restrictions. Like no fucking way. Yeah, I don't know how Aphrodite will go. We'll see. But yeah, I think if we break the rules, it'll be before Aphrodite anyway. You know, it'll either be Lostbelt 4 or... and hell, maybe we'll get stuck in Lostbelt 3 and we'll have to break the rules, but we'll see. Hey, thank you for the resub for 6 months, man. Marcellus 15, I think? Question mark? But yeah, Lostbelt 4, Gaijun and Limbo. I don't see a good way to get past that one. We'll give. I'm not. You know, we won't break the rules until I give something a fair shake, though. Because my God, look how long I was stuck on and how many attempts I was doing of Landling and Horsebindo, dude. Like, so I gotta at least do that many before I would ever break the rules on something. Because holy shit. Dude, I knew that fight so well by the end of it. Oh my God, like I had done it so many times with so many setups. I could not have known that fight any better. That was horseshit. Also, no grails is actually not a rule. It's just something that we've... Oh, how about that? But that's just something we've been doing this whole time, and I've always said I'm not going to start grailing unless we really have to. Yeah, I can't believe Phantom though. Phantom for these students, that was a trip. No, bot CEs are not allowed because they're 4 stars. They're not even like weird 4 stars, they're just 4 stars. Like they're in the UI and everything, like you just straight up count them as 4 stars. Like if you filter by, you know, show 4 stars only, you get bot CEs. And you can see the 4 stars on them and everything. It's good to have though if you ever do need to break the rules. It's something good to have. Because a big problem with this account is if we ever wanted to break the rules on CEs, because I've always said the first rule I would break is bringing stronger CEs. The problem is this account doesn't really have stronger CEs because it doesn't normally do events, and most of the good CEs that are, you know, freebies are from events, right? They just hand them out like from, you know, clearing the event or whatever. And I normally don't do events on this account, so it doesn't actually have very many CEs that aren't 3-star CEs anyway. I guess I'll probably play this event though, so we'll at least get this one, so that's a good start. The main issue, it's starting to actually get some 50% starting in PCEs. The problem is it doesn't have like Star Bomb and stuff like that, like a lot of the more tailored ones we don't have. I'm really worried about you and Horsebindo, because I've done that fight a lot on different accounts. Like I know that fight pretty well. I think that's going to be a problem. Because it's already a hard fight for budget teams because it just the gimmicks and AoE stuff just is always disproportionately difficult. Like it gets extra difficult for those kinds of things. And it's basically like the Landling Horsebindo one, but worse because Horsebindo gets that, you know, no drawback to being a Berserker thing for a while. And like for a budget team, you basically have to kill you really fast. Right, you need her to die within the first 3 turns, like abso-fucking-lutely. You need her to die before she NPs. But that is really hard to do with like 3-star CEs and everything. I'm not even sure it's possible. Like I don't know how the fuck I would kill her in like 2 or 3 turns. You know, probably Mori. Mori's one of the better options for that. He might be able to do it. If you could get a nice crit turn on turn 1 and go into your NP and maybe get another crit, that might do it. The problem with that's like fine for killing you, but it's garbage then for fighting Horsebindo. If your front row's like Mozart, Mori, Qingong, that's so not good for the Horsebindo at the end. So yeah, I'm not sure how to deal with that. And then like a big thing in that is Horsebindo starts debuffing you every time he attacks you. He puts skill seal and NP seal on you every time he attacks. So dealing with that's going to be a real problem. At least Asclepius exists now. So that might help. Asclepius might be our way of dealing with that. Though if he gets NP sealed, we're gonna have a bad time. And it's not like I can give him K-Scope, right? That's like the way to deal with that is you Asclepius K-Scope, use his battery skill, NP immediately, he hasn't been attacked yet, now you have debuff immunity, right? But there's no way to do that with 3-star craft essences, so I'm not sure what to do about that. How about that DPS caster, indeed. That is indeed why it's hard to kill you in time. Ku is really good in that fight, because he can cast all of his skills in advance. And then if he gets skill sealed, he still has a decent amount of survivability left. And, you know, Horsebindo, he forces you to be a neutral, and then eventually he turns back into a Berserker, and Ku's really good in that situation. But yeah, if he gets like NP sealed and stuff, he never gets to NP, it's quite bad. Yeah, Ku is definitely going to be using that fight, like for sure. I'm thinking it's going to be some kind of Mori setup into Ku in the back, and then maybe Asclepius or something. That might work. It's just you is going to be killing you in 2 or 3 turns is going to be very difficult. Like that's going to be a problem. The thing is, Ku's buff isn't really applicable in that fight. Like it's not applicable at all. I've said this many times. There's a lot of situations where Ku's recent buff does nothing. There's a lot of situations where it does do something, but there's a lot of situations where it does nothing, and this is definitely a situation where it does nothing. Because you're going to be skill sealed constantly, so it means you have to cast Guts on turn 1. And if you cast Guts on turn 1, you are not going to have the attack up when you're going to NP. And if you do, it's probably one of the health bars that doesn't have as much health, and the extra attack up is just going to go into the void. And that happens to Ku all of the time, where his attack up just does nothing. Like, sure, it's better than not having it, of course, but it a lot of times doesn't do anything. But there are other times where it absolutely does something and it's very helpful. But that's just not really one of the fights where it's going to be... You're not going to get good value out of it because you're going to have to cast Guts at such a weird time. Oh yeah, he's way better than Deer Mid. Or Deer Mud, if you will. Although honestly, he's okay in that fight just because of the massive attack down for you, but the whole plan is to kill you so quickly that there's not that much point in debuffing her like that if you're trying to just kill her in a few turns. And if you don't kill her in a few turns, I don't think a budget team would be able to do it, to be honest. I really do hope someday they'll be add a caster, DPS in the FP summon that's like really aimed at killing assassins for budget people. Like, because they just don't have that and they need it. And we have every other class, so it'd be nice if they would add one eventually. I don't think Archimedes would be a 3-star. I think he'd be 4 or 5-star. I've thought about leveling another Mori, because I've got another Mori actually in a few of my accounts. The problem is the only account that I think that has the command codes that I would want is my main. I don't think my main actually has a second copy of Mori. But yeah, it does suck how I'm not using, don't want to use a Grailed Mori, but then that means I don't have a Mori. That kind of sucks. I mean, those aren't heads, those are helmets. That are obviously horse-shaped, but,
Okay.
I'm just clicking buttons at random right now. I do kind of feel like fighting Lee right now, though, but I just don't see. I don't think it's gonna. It seems almost pointless because I know it can't be done unless we've got like a proper, like the right stuff and like our support list and all that. Like, there's just no way. The only other thing I can even think of that might work would be literally bring 6 of the best budget casters, but we obviously don't. Like, you need like Kazuku, Babbage, Medea. God. What would that team be? I guess you'd probably bring Clown, just because the buff block is really good in that fight. So it'd probably be Clown, not in this order necessarily, but the 6 units would be like Clown, Babbage, Kazuku, Medea. What else? Maybe Gong. I don't think so, though. Maybe even Geronimo, for God's sakes. I can't believe I'm saying that. But probably Ku, though. You'd probably just bring a Lancer Ku. He's basically one of the best casters because the casters are that bad.
Okay.
I just don't think they don't have enough synergy, and I don't think they'd get enough damage before any one of them would die. Like, the idea would just to try to kill him before he kills you. But Babbage could be good in that fight. I could see if I can get my Babbage skill ranks up, I could see that being helpful. I'll look at my my account real quick here and kind of see where it's at.
Okay.
I think it needs a few mats from this event to max Babbage, I think. But again, it's from this event, so we'll get them. But right now, the team we've been doing is Mozart, Mori, Gong, and then Flex, normally Clown Boy, but I'm not sure that's right. And then I don't remember what we used after that. Maybe Leonidas or something, and then Ku. And that got really close to winning. We actually got, I remember that one time we were like one turn away from winning. So it can work, but you need really good luck at the start. Because Mori's not going to last very long, and you gotta just boom, boom, boom. No, Horse Bendo's fine. Oh, you mean that recent one he got? I thought you mean you need another one. Like, it was okay. Like, I mean, he was already pretty good, but it's fine. I didn't mind that buff. It's okay. Because he's got such steep competition. I mean, he would not have been my first pick for a unit that needed a buff, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I am glad that this rerun is a thing, though, just because I need more skill gems on these old accounts. Like, they need skill gems pretty bad. Because I don't farm, you know, gold gems are like the one thing that they just do not get ever, so, kinda handy. I'd always say you don't need to be better than the best to be usable, right? Like that's you know, you don't want if you're always trying to, you know, put things on par with whatever the best thing is, you're just gonna have a never-ending goalpost, right? And that's dumb, and you have so much power creep that way. All right, where are we on this account here? Let's see. Oh, we do have Asclepius. Okay, that's good. I almost want to use him against Lee, but I think he's a bit too slow. Hold on, let me turn my fan on. The problem with Clown Boy is it's so random. Sometimes he'll enter when he has debuff immunity and you can't put the buff block on him, but then sometimes you can, and then you stop him from doing Pierce Invulnerability and all that. Let's see. This account has its own Mori, but his skill ranks certainly aren't maxed, and I don't really have the command codes for crit. That is a possibility, though. Then you could bring, like, double Chin Gong or something. Double Chin... Now, that would only work if you had Star Bomb. If you with 3-star CEs, you can't do Star Bomb setups. It's impossible, so you have to bring Mozart. Babbage is pretty strong lore-wise, actually. He's got, really tanky. He's got some nice abilities. His NP's, can basically make an army of robots and shit. He's immune to a lot of, like, mental stuff as well. Yeah, I remember the problem was the second health bar, and you needed a really lucky hand to break the first health bar on turn 1, which you basically have to do, because then if you don't, he'll cast Evade, and then GG. Yeah, Bolg would work on Babbage. Well, Beasley, if you don't mind slotting the best you got on your ult for Mori, I'll give it a shot. But I suspect if we're using subpar command codes, it's probably not going to work. But we'll try. Oh my god, this account is so fucked though. Oh my, because right after this, then it's fucking you and Horsebendo, and then it's Mothman, and then it's the tree, and all of those are just gonna be awful. Although the tree, we're gonna obviously do something special for if this account gets there first. But you know, I mean, Bolg won't work on a rock. They literally named that in its character material. But if it's something that doesn't have... It doesn't have to be a heart specifically, but it has to have something like a heart or a core or, like, you know, a power source or whatever, right? Because servants don't technically have hearts. They have, like, saint graphs and spiritual cores. And a spiritual core, bulk basically counts as a heart, right? But some things, like a rock, like if you made a golem doesn't... Well, I guess it depends on the kind of golem. Some golems... Like, Adam has a heart, right? His core would count as his heart. But, like, a normal golem, I don't think bulk would work on. There's just nothing for it to target. But it works on most things. I can't really think of anything practical it wouldn't work on. There's, you know, some niche stuff like the generic golems if BC1 makes it wouldn't work on, but why would Ku use it on one of those anyway? Like it even works on Kodamine, right? Like even though his heart's messed up, but he still has one. Enkidu is one that people have been kind of wondered about. I wouldn't be shocked if they convoluted some reason why it wouldn't work on him, but he does have a spiritual core as far as I'm aware, so it probably would. I don't think it would work on Enkidu when Enkidu was alive, though. Like, if somehow Ku met, you know, proper living Enkidu, that I don't think Bulk would work on. But as a servant, he does have a spiritual core, so it theoretically should work on that. I mean, most things can't regenerate from Bulk because Bulk's effect is literally you can't regenerate from it, right? That's literally what it does. Is it puts a curse on you where you can't heal. And especially, like, if it just pricks you, it's very difficult to heal Bolg's wounds, right? Like, if it just hits you in the chest or in the arm or whatever, if, like, it's a regular stab. But the cause effect reversal, you know, barbed death, that specifically is almost impossible to heal if it hits you in the heart. So the best way is doing what Hercules does. Hercules is not regenerating, right? Hercules dies, right? He does not regenerate. Hercules does not heal. He comes back to life, right? He gets a new life. And they literally name God Hand as a good way of fighting Bolg because it's not a matter of healing. It's a, you know, that life dies. It's gone. That body is done, but he gets a new one, right? So, yeah, it's kind of like Herc is strong or something. Actually, I think Beastly might not be here right now, so we might not have any way to get Mori. You know, if we win like this, I'm not going to keep it, but I want to just mess around with my Grailed Mori just to see what happens. But if we win that way, we'll close the app and everything. This is just for like tomfoolery, but we'll keep everything else. We'll use a 3-star craft essence and all that bullshit. Give me a second though, my Mori's not actually set up on my main right now, so let me switch that stuff out. Oh, the command code UI. Why do you have to be so awful? And like it's, you know, it's slow and bad in general, but what really gets me is the fact that you can, if a command code is equipped to someone else, you have to manually find which servant it is and remove it, and it's like that is just unbelievable, especially when CEs don't work that way. And then asking for a confirmation message every time you do anything, and then playing a long ass animation. It's just like, what the hell, dude? Like, I get it, the UI was originally designed for when you weren't supposed to switch command codes often, and that's why it wants a confirmation message to make sure you don't mess up, but, you know, it's not like that anymore. I'm trying to think what I put on the other art card. I might just put a generic crit up on it. Because there's only the one art crit up command code, unless I'm forgetting one. Yeah, I'll just do a generic crit up one, 10%. And then there's the quick up one, okay. I wish I could give him Golden Sumo, because that would make this so good, but that's obviously against the rules. Technically, this is not against the rules, but I'm still going to reset if it works. We have not used Grails this entire time, and I don't want to use them until I know I can't without them. I've always said though, it's gonna get to the point. Okay, yeah, we'll use Beastlies in a second. I'll use the 100 one first, just because I want to see how it goes. But I've always said, what's going to make me Grail isn't necessarily the content requiring it. It's more of, because this account doesn't farm, it's not going to have what it needs, and I would rather Grail someone than, you know, go farm for God knows how long to catch the account up. That hasn't happened yet, but I could see that's more, like, I could see something being doable within the restrictions, but I Grail anyway, just because I don't, you know, want to take the time. I like Lostbelt 4's story, it's alright. It's not like the best thing ever. Pacing's a bit weird, but it was pretty good. I only ever read one translation for it though, which was like a really early one. So honestly, I can't even really speak to some of it. I need to see a more proper translation to like know how the writing and stuff was. I wish I could remember what the team setup was exactly, but I don't. What, did it have George or something? I can't remember. I want to say we had another taunt. Oh my god, we need to get a VC Brawn up. That could be really helpful here. We've got his third skill to 10, so that's a good start. We need to get like all this stuff though. We need to get his upgraded in. Oh, we do have his upgraded NP. We just need to level him. Hold on. I didn't realize my a VC Brawn was that close to like being ready to go.
ようこそレオナルド・ダ・ヴィンチの強化ラボへ。今日も元気に始めちゃおう。
His other spear doesn't ignore armor, that's not what it does. It ignores anything magical. It goes through anything magical. And like Saber's armor was made out of her mana, so it ignores it. But if somebody had like an actual hunk of metal, it wouldn't ignore that. Obviously, it's strong enough that it should get through that, but yeah, his spear disrupts anything magical. Oh, right, I forgot. We don't have the fucking cast. That's so random, but it's, again, because this account doesn't farm any. Normally, statues are never an issue for anything. Let me see if they're in the event. I completely forgot that was the problem, that we didn't have those. I don't think this has statues in it, but I think the shop might. It normally does. I just don't normally buy them because they're normally not needed for anything. Okay, they are. Thank God. I'll start buying those now, actually, because we're gonna definitely need them. Because Babbage is gonna need them too. Most servant NPs are made out of magic, but well, they honestly didn't really represent that properly. It's because it'd be too overpowered. You know, they had it like dispel like magical air, but it's not like it dispels what Excalibur does. Gills aren't though. Yeah, gills are an exception, obviously, but gills bullshit. Yeah, it got rid of invisible air, but it doesn't actually like dispel Excalibur. It honestly should, but I think they have it not do that just because that's too broken. Yeah, I can see a VC Braun really turning this around if I can max him out. Because he can do decent damage as well, so that might be our ticket. But not quite ready yet. Alright, where's Mozart? These two slots I'm just not sure about. Let me think. So the plan is we taunt Mozart. He'll die pretty soon, so our turn 1 has to be good. There's just, I mean, there's no around it. You have to have a good turn 1, or it's just not gonna happen. Thankfully, 100 Mori means you don't have to have as good of a turn 1. I have no idea what we give Qingong CE-wise. I guess we give Mozart NP charge on death. I don't think I give Mori Buster up because we are using a Grailed one. I think because we need that NP, right? We need to crit and then go into our NP, so I think we go with good old ley line. And someone says fucking Dragon's Meridian. Yeah, a lot of Hanging Guardians are made out of actual materials. But there are aspects of it where it's like magic is flowing through it and it would still disrupt that kind of stuff. It's just like golems have magic flowing through them even though they're made out of rocks and stuff. Honestly, Dyrmid's NPs are dangerous as fuck. They look very, you know, underwhelming, but oh my god, they're really powerful. Like, they will mess you up. No, I don't think it has anything to do with rank. I don't think they ever mentioned anything like that, because it even destroys, you know, it can destroy Caster, Gilius's book if it hits it, and stuff like that. God, I have no idea what to do in the middle. Okay, it's either a taunt or it's something like, you know, Clown Boy. I think we need at least one taunt, I would imagine. Yeah, I think ultimately, like right now it's either Medea or Clown Boy, but I think ultimately it's going to be something like Asclepius or a VC Braun, something like that. Maybe even Castraku or Babbage, but they're not ready yet, so. Just hope for no debuff immunity at the wrong time. I mean, I don't think there is a reason. I think it's just, you know, storytelling. And it's not like we ever actually saw it interact with Excalibur's blast or anything, so, like, you know, maybe it has disrupted, who knows? It's not like we have anything that really shows one way or the other. Because it only ever really interacts with invisible air. I can't really think of anything I can give Qingong that's going to be useful. I guess just MP on death. I can't think of anything. I forgot what we brought Mystic Code wise. Normally it's this, but because your Mystic Code is on cooldown, this won't, like, the stars will be available too late, I would think. I mean, not necessarily, but probably. Guts is good though because he does insta-death. I'll try it, because Guts gets around insta-death and Pierce of Vulnerability, which he has those. That might work, BC. It's only a 5% difference, hopefully. I mean, that sadly, that 5% can matter, because as I remember last time we did this, we kept failing to break the first health bar by, like, you know, 5,000 and 13,000 and crap like that. Like, such minor amounts when we were doing such large damage per crit. So it can matter, but I'll definitely try it. I mean, time stuff doesn't have any issue with Bulk. I mean, like, literally, Bazette went back in time and it did not help. Well, that ain't gonna work. The problem is, it's like, the first turn RNG you can manipulate without much fuss, right? But the rest of the RNG you can't. So, you know, if you're having to rely on a lot of RNG throughout the run, it's really bad. And you want as little RNG at the start as possible. Like, you want, this is why a Grailed Mori makes a big difference, because a non-Grailed Mori needs a pretty specific opening hand. He needs either a Brave Chain, or like Buster Art, or Buster Art Art, or something like that. Where a Grailed one probably doesn't, I never tried with a Grailed one, but I'm pretty sure a Grailed one wouldn't need nearly as many stuff. What's sad is I remember one of the hands that you could get on turn 1 that didn't work would work if you had like proper CEs instead of 3-star CEs. Alright, we'll see if this can break. I doubt it. Because it's literally one card, but we'll see. Can't remember if we're supposed to use the defense up now or not. I don't remember if we want Mozart to die here or not. I want to say you do want him to die here, so we don't use it. That's sad though, because the art up's gonna hit nothing. I mean, it can hit Qingong, I guess. Yeah, I think Mori needs an art card, not just for like making it easier to break, but you want the NP gain. Because Mozart's gonna die and shuffle the deck, and then God knows when you get your NP. Because you want to bust his lip here and then be ready to NP, like boom boom. Yeah, I would expect this not to break, but good to check. Actually, Ku could survive that fight pretty easily if he wanted to, but he didn't really want to. That fight was more about him trying to snap Bazette out of it. But yeah, they weren't designed to counter each other at all. Bolg is not even designed to do what Ku does. Bolg is designed to do what every other Bolg does, which is throw, go, boom. Ku made up the whole bullshit cause-effect reversal technique nonsense. Although, funnily enough, his father probably made it up, and Ku just happened to reinvent it because like father, like son, even though he doesn't even know his father. But yeah, he could have just fought her with normal combat and killed her, but that wasn't really the point of that fight. Yeah, Lee can't taunt Mori because he's got the first skill, which makes him immune to buffs and debuffs. With 100% resistance. That makes Mori really awesome for this fight. Sadly, I don't think Scath even knew that. It's funny, they have her act like she knows about it, but she actually shouldn't know about it. She never met Ku again after he left. And and he made the technique after. It specifically says he made it after leaving the Land of Shadows. So she should have never actually even seen it, but I don't think they even thought of that, because writing is hard. Well, that's a good hand. Probably more than we need, but I'll take it. Rare that we actually get this kind of thing. The NP gain will be nice, though. This is definitely gonna break. This would be so much easier to do with a 70 Mori if the command code wasn't on cooldown. That'd make up for all the problems, really. Okay, we'll get our NP off of Shin's second skill. Or we could just get it like that. That works too. Although I think we use it for he tried to put the taunt on Mori there. This turn kind of sucks though, because Mori doesn't really have anything other than his NP. I guess I cast this for Leonidas. Easier for him to get his NP. Yeah, it's because we were doing Lostbelt earlier, Lostbelt 2 earlier, than we beat it. Because it wasn't very hard. But Scatty would give us more trouble than it did. Fuck, he didn't get his fucking NP. Oh, that's bad. 100 Mori can't save you from Leonidas dropping the ball on that one. Because yeah, we need him to taunt so he doesn't NP Mori in the face. We're literally about to not get any more value out of our Mori than we did out of a 70 Mori. That's pretty sad. Because he has evade, you know. And he has debuff. Now he's got debuff immunity, so we won't be able to do Clown. I might not bring Clown because of that. It's too random. Hey guys, look, we have taunt. Although he can still one-shot Mori here. Poor Clown Boy, can't do his gimmick here. Well, Mori's gonna die. They can get one hurrah in here, that'd be great. Nope. Yeah, you gotta get that health bar done before Mori dies. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah, his debuff immunity's gone. We definitely want Shingon to die by now. I almost want to max out Shingon's first skill just so the cooldown is shorter. Come on, Clown Boy, give me a crit here. You can do it. There you go. Yeah. Okay, there goes Chen. Lol, the clown thing works on that. That's kind of funny. This is where the value just goes out the window, though. If he procs insta-death, it's like, what are you gonna do? We have guts, but then we have no health, right? That's not good. God damn it. Man, he was gonna NP! Oh boy. I could totally use the third skill to get rid of the taunt, but there's really no reason to do that. Damn, I wanted to get one turn out of my health bar. That would have been pretty big deal. Yeah, if I'd gotten one turn out of our health bar, I could have cast protection from arrows again, but now I can't, so it's probably GG. Yeah, you gotta get more value out of Mori. You need to be able to protect him a bit longer. Because honestly, we didn't really get anything out of the Grails there. That wasn't even better than our best run with a 70 Mori. Now, obviously, if we got luckier with 100 Mori, then you get way more done. But it's a shame. If I could have gotten one more turn out of Guts, he doesn't have Pierce Vulnerability anymore. I could cast Evade. Yeah, really close on this one. Alright, we'll go to regular Mori now, though. We just have to get more value out of our back row, but I don't know how the fuck to do that. It's just all the budget casters are just not good. Like, that's just how it is. It's like compared to like their competition in other classes like Ushi and 100 Face, they're just not nearly good enough. All right, let's see what Beastly, do I have your ult added or do I need to get you? So is this the account that got jacked? I'm assuming it is because it hasn't logged in a full day. It's in the hands of the enemy. Feels bad, man. I see my code on Discord. Okay, hold on. I'll bring up mine so you can just add me too. Makes it a lot easier. Boy, that Nero would make it pretty easy, but I'd almost be happy if someone stole the 1 to 3 star account. This shit is so cursed. Do you have a leveled up like I've really leveled up ley line, because I think that might be better. It's hard to say because you really got to get that NP, but at the same time the Buster Key makes it a lot easier to break at the start, so I truly don't know what's best. But the problem is it's basically like swapping RNG. Ley line means you don't need much RNG to get your NP in time, right? But it means you need more RNG on your opening hand. Where if you go with red black key, you need a little bit less RNG on the opening hand, but then you need more a lot more RNG on NP gain. So it's like, it sucks no matter what. Hey Osaka, thank you for the 35-month resub. How the hell am I going to do this, chat? Like, the back row is just so shit. I almost want to say RNG turn 1 is better than RNG later turns. That is true, because it's the one turn we can manipulate. That is true. I almost want to say we have to, one of the more reasonable bits of RNG we could change is not having Leonidas and just hope he doesn't kill Mori. That sounds like bullshit, but like, we're so scuffed on value, I don't see how I don't see how we're gonna have enough damage otherwise, right? Like, Leonidas is just not doing any damage. We need somebody that's going to do something. I have Leyline on my main. Feels bad. Like, I feel like once we get a VC Braun up, I think he might be the way to go. Because he can do a nice chunk of damage, and then if he gives invulnerability to Mori, that's huge. And then if you can get buff block from Clown Boy, he will. Lee can't do pierce invulnerability. That's really RNG, but I think that's a lot more damage, and it's even more survivability if you get lucky. Unfortunately, VC Braun's not ready yet, but that might end up being the key. Right now, that's probably our best damage, you know, as scary as that is. You know, Nobukatsu is not actually a bad idea. Because he makes stars, he gives you Buster Resist down. The problem is I don't think this account would have a way to really get his NP reasonably. And you'd want him to face tank one turn. You'd want him his taunt to save you one turn. He also gives you the battery. You might, if you got lucky, you might even be able to NP with Mori twice. Which, with that battery and Shingon giving battery on death and Shingon's second skill, that would be pretty big, because you might even line it up on a turn where he's got evade and you get to do the pierce invulnerability. Technically, command spells are in the rules, but we've never used them either, so I don't want to do that either. In a way, command spells are one of the most legit things you can do because everybody has them, but they're also so powerful they can trivialize content, and I hate trivializing content, so... Now, this account doesn't have Nobukatsu leveled yet. I have him in P5 though. But let me look at him. So he's not usable right now, but I want to look at him and kind of see what we'd be getting out of him. I tell you what though, that if you got lucky with that skill seal, that'd be pretty nice. That's just an extra, it pushes the RNG more in your favor to not deal with piercing vulnerability as much. So that's pretty nice. Then you get the 30% Buster Resistance, that's really nice for Mori. The Star Gen's nice, the crit buff is nice. The heal's kind of pointless though, because, you know, Lee's just gonna one-shot most of her stuff. If you get his NP off though, you get the battery. That's really good. Like, between that and Shingon, you might be able to NP twice. Like, that really would be nice. I'd say it's better than Leonidas. I don't know if it's better than, like, Asclepius and VC Braun and that kind of thing. Nice skill ranks, by the way. Yeah, Asclepius is a tempting one, because it's a lot of guaranteed stuff. And if you can get Asclepius's NP off, oh god, that'd be good. We really gotta get his skills up though. You don't get the 20% battery unless you rank up his skill. He's definitely not worth it right now, but yeah, I can see that working. The other thing is you go all damage in the back row. Like, fuck the casters, you do like Bedivere or some shit, right? Like, just damage, 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 and just try to get everyone's NP off. The problem is, that's fine if you can get to the third health bar, right? If you can get to the third health bar and you just throw NPs at them, that'll work. But you're probably going to have a turn where you end up having to throw a lot of damage away to break the second health bar, and then you have to wait a turn, and then somebody dies, and then they can't NP the third health bar, right? Like, there's just so much that can go wrong there. But chucking NPs at his face is not, like, he doesn't have that much health at the end. How would Bedivere do? How, like, he'd probably do about 80k. What's sad is he probably does more damage than Medea. That's fucked. She removes his buffs though. So if Clown Boy can land that buff block, it is a big help. But if Clown Boy doesn't NP, I don't think he's worth it. So he needs to land the buff block and get his NP. You could do that. He gets his NP a lot easier, and he does okay damage. Let's try this real quick. I don't think it's enough though. I don't think it's enough oomph. Oh, so you have to get so lucky with Mori, like this. Yeah, I don't think Internet Explorer exists anymore. Maybe be wrong, but I don't know why people always ask me personal questions expecting me to actually answer them. Like, we're literally talking about how easy it is to steal people's accounts. This will be close to breaking, but I don't think it will. It would on 100, and the reason it would work on 100 is because we have the first card buster bonus from another unit. Like, I think this is going to get so close to breaking, but it's not going to break. It's so sad though, if we could use our goddamn Mystic Code, this would not be a problem. Like, just a Buster card would get the job done. Sadly, yeah, I don't get to use it for 4 turns, so... It's like, tough shit, kid. Yeah, not enough. And then I hate how bad it is if you almost break but don't. I mean, you're just dead. Like, because then you have to wait a whole other turn getting through invulnerability and everything. Like, you're so fucked. And then all of Mori's NP gain is in the last hand. Yeah, I think we're gonna need Leyline. Hey, Osaka with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Or the 1 gifted sub and 5 total, excuse me. Which is just the same thing. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you. Yeah, Beasley, if you're still here, let's go Leyline. I think we're gonna have to have the NP gain. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do, because I feel like it's so hard to break with a 70 Mori that we may legitimately need black keys, right? Because it is a lot more damage. It's a higher attack stat. But I don't know. I think it's just bad. Like, I think no matter what you do, it's bad. It's just a matter of trading how, you know, which thing is bad. I think like a level 100 or level 60 or whatever their cap is, black key might work. At that point, I think you just wait it out and get your MP that way. But I'm gonna try Leyline and see what happens. Oh right, you don't have Leyline. Fuck. It's level 50. Well, that's good. Well, we'll just gun for get lucky with NP gain then. Like, we're just gonna have to. Because in some ways, Black Keys is good because it's a lot more. It is a lot more damage than what you can get out of any other 3-star CE. So I think we need like Buster Art or Buster Art Buster, or just 2 of Mori's Buster cards and someone else's Buster card. That'll work too. Buster Quick Art might work. It definitely works on a 100 Mori. I think that might be short on a 70 Mori. You might need Buster Art instead of Buster Quick Art. Yeah, this is not gonna work. We'll see if we can somehow just last long enough though. If you didn't cast Evade, it would be fine. But because this like almost breaks but doesn't, and then he evades, you waste 3 turns. Like, it's ridiculous. Like how it's like the difference between almost breaking and breaking is just so massive. It's very frustrating. I wonder if I go for the NP gain combo instead. I don't know. Tricky. I will say, I think Black Key might allow us to do Buster Quick Art and break, where otherwise it wouldn't. So Black Key might be good because you know, you're perfectly likely to get Buster Quick Art instead of getting Buster Art or, you know, Buster Art Buster or whatever. And Black Key also helps the NP. Like, honestly, Black Key is great if you can just get lucky. It gives you enough extra boost in damage that we might be able to get the 2 health bars, but alright, let's see. I guess we do this, as close as we can. And who knows, maybe if we high roll, maybe this can break. Yeah, it does. And, you can probably get pretty close, though. Damn! Yikes! If he just didn't have evade here, this wouldn't be so bad. It's just gonna take so long to break, like, because then you have to wait a turn, so like Bedivere is probably gonna be dead, and Mori's probably gonna be dead before we can even attack the second health bar. There's just no way that works. And then we get this shitty hand. Ugh, this is so frustrating. Because it's so close to like working really smoothly, but that tiny bit of value you're missing just snowballs into you wasting so much time. Because if Bedivere could just NP, right, it wouldn't be so bad. Of course. I'm not sure Bedivere is going to be enough damage to be worth bringing. I'd like to see it first, though. We're just going to have to get a really good opening hand. I hate that, though. This is why I kind of want to use Grails, because like it can work, but you're just going to have to reset so many times. It's just such a waste of AP. Because a Grailed Mori doesn't need nearly as good of a hand to be able to break. He still needs a good hand, but you need like the perfect hand to break with 70 Mori. And the NP gain is definitely a problem. Hey look, it's the exact same hand. I mean, this is one of the most likely hands to get because he has 2 Buster and 2 Art. We also got worse command codes this time. Like the other time we had the higher crit up one, so do as well. I actually did better because it high rolls. Okay, thanks game. We have to just get lucky now. So Mori will get his other Buster card next turn. Hopefully we can break with that. God damn it, dude. Again, all this time we could be beating on the second health bar, which would just be so much better. You just can't afford all this time. I don't think we're gonna break here because Mozart took 4 out of 5 cards. I mean, dear God, dude, like this is just taking way too long. Like, I need to MP, you know, right now, but I can't, and Bedivere's already dead. That's great. Like, it's just dumb. Like, you can break the health bar on turn 1 if you get lucky, and we're on fucking turn 5 and we haven't broken it yet. This is where Star Bomb CEs would be so helpful because you could get your crit and then bring another unit that gives more generic damage up instead of just art up. Like, I think you have to get Buster Art Art, or Buster Quick Art, or Buster Art Buster, Or Buster Buster and one of the other units gets a Buster. Those are probably the hands that can break. And maybe Buster Buster, even if someone else doesn't get a Buster card, that might do it. I'm not sure. That would be bad though, because you won't have any NP gain. Like, you want Buster Art. That's the opening hand you want with this setup. Because if you have 0 starting NP, you need as much NP gain as possible. And you want Mozart's Art up hitting, you know, as much as it can, because it'll help your NP gain. Yeah, there's just no way. I just don't think there's a way with these restrictions to do this fight without relying on an insane amount of RNG. Like, I think it is possible, but you'll have to get so fucking lucky. Yeah, this is a really good, like, kind of just chill battle theme. Racks on racks of FP, indeed. That's frustrating. I wonder if we can get it so he won't cast Evade here, though, and then we break next turn. That means I need to not let Mozart die, I guess. Do I crit or no? I guess you have to not crit. That means he'll do almost nothing this turn, though. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know if this could work. It's just, this is so little damage without the crits. Yeah, he won't evade unless he's really low on health, so I think it's like 50% or lower. Fuck! Fuck! Normally he can't taunt Mori because I use his first skill, but I had to not use his first skill. Well, that's GG. If he had just given it to one of the other two, it'd have been fine. But yeah, RNG, the fight. You gotta get Mori's NP. You gotta crit and NP, like for sure. It'll probably break though. God, that sucks, dude. Yeah, now Bedivere could just die, so it's like... You need to like do Bedivere's NP here and Mori's NP. Like, that's what you need. I want to use Bedivere's NP though, just to see the damage. I want to know what the damage is. See if it's worth it at all. I actually could have gotten his NP there, I think, if I'd done someone else's art card bonus. Oh, right. We've got that. This needs to be like 80 to 100k to be worth it at all, and if anything, it might need to be higher than that, but... Nah, it's not good enough. It is impressive for being at neutral, but you'd want more than that. Although between that and Mori's NP, you probably would break. Yeah, I mean, he's got way too much health left right now. Like, you've got to get more value than that out of Mori. This fight's depressing, man. Wow, I should have done, Oh, now you got, that's right, Shingon. I keep forgetting my guys have NP charge on death. Can't remember that to save my life.
とっておきをくれ。
There's just no world though where this is enough damage. Like, I don't mean right here, I just mean in general. Like getting down to this few units that fast, I mean, there's just no way. You've got to get a lot more done. Have I said how much I hate that casters don't have a proper damage dealer in the FP summon? Because, yeah, feels bad.
我が八極に二の打ちいらず。七号分血負けしねえ。やりがん。し。世に生き、陰に殺す。
Like, we just gotta kill him before he kills us. It's like, you know, damage, 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 but it's so hard to get damage with these fucking restrictions. Like, it's just... There's no one other than Mori that can do anything. Like, everyone else sucks. I think I am gonna go with Medea, though, just because at least she can remove his buffs. You basically need to just get lucky and have him get his NP. He can throw out like a, you know, 50k damage or whatever. It'd be a big help. I just hate how RNG the turn 1 is. Like, it's just so much wasted AP. We could bring a bunch of berserkers in the back and just hope that they're able to get the damage off, but okay. I'm hoping with, because I remember this did not break before, but I think with Black Key this will break. So I think this hand would get like ungodly close to breaking. What's bad about this hand is that your Buster card overwhelmingly does the most damage by like a landslide, but it's your first card, so you know it's not as good as it could be. Like you want Buster Art Buster or Buster Art Art. Like that's definitely the hands you want. But this might break. I think it's gonna be cutting it really close though. Oh, we got bad luck with the command codes. There's an art card with a way higher command code, and there's a Buster card with a way higher command code. That might actually end us. Yep! That's so stupid! Yeah, if we'd had either one of the other command codes, I think we would have broken there. And then it's like, you can't break here, because he's got evade, and then you have to wait for the next turn, and then you can't damage until the next turn. Like, where otherwise you literally get to damage the next health bar the next turn, right? It's such a big difference. That's so annoying that if we'd gotten the other command code, we were broken there. And potentially if we'd just gotten better, like, you know, high-low roll luck, but maybe that was high roll, we don't know. Hard to tell. I might seriously use a Grailed Mori though, just because it doesn't even... Grailed Mori makes very little difference because he'll still die in like 1 or 2 hits, like he'll still drops like a rock. The excess damage just goes into the void anyway. Like it makes almost no difference. The main difference is Grailed Mori just removes a lot of the RNG. Right? Like he does not actually perform that much better with the way this fight is. It does not change much. It just means you don't need to reset as many times. So it just saves you a bunch of AP. Like, why do I want to throw all my, you know, AP into the void for no reason? Yeah, burn can't break. It'll just take them down to 1 health. Yep, I'm just switching to Grailed Mori. I don't care. Like, I don't care enough to just reset a million fucking times. But, like, the difference is so minor. Like, it's not, being Grailed is not going to change, like, the damage thresholds. and like him getting one shot and stuff like that RNG stays exactly the same. It just means my turn 1 doesn't have to be as good. Yeah, I don't feel bad about this at all because I'm not gonna waste 3,000 AP trying to get really good RNG, especially because we don't have like the right command codes and blah 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 blah. Like, it's just not worth it. Because like this is the first time I've ever used a grailed unit, but like I can do math. Right, I know it works without being grailed if you get Buster Art Art or Buster Art Buster, but I don't want to reset a million fucking times until I get that exactly. Because for God's sakes, like I said, the RNG barely changes, right? It just means like Buster Art Quick works. That's one of the only things that works that doesn't otherwise. Like I don't think this will even break. We'll see. I don't think one card works. That sucks. I can't get the art up. Love our block up. God, Kyo would not do well here at all. Almost nothing will do well here because of this 3-star CEs. There's ways to make Kyo work here, but not with 3-star CEs and all this other bullshit. You know, Darius actually is not bad here. Darius really is not bad here. Guts is abnormally good here, and Darius has that Buster Resist down now and all that. Like, really, Darius might actually be a pretty nice cleanup unit here. Obviously, he's not leveled, but, I can think of other ways to do this, but, you know, the things would I'd have to go farm for God knows how long. I'm not sure this will work. I almost think I should use a 70 more even because the difference is so minor. Like, there's almost no difference. Like, the only real difference is Buster Quick Art will, like, always work, where with a grailed one, or non-grailed one, a lot of times it won't. I think it can, though. I think a non-grailed one can break with that kind of hand. Got the good command codes, though. That's helpful. Yep, that's, there's like no difference. Like, the only difference, I think, is Buster Quick Art. I think that's the only thing that'll work, that would not work otherwise. Is it worth it to rule breaker this? That's so sad, but it actually might be. That shows how little respect I have for Medea's NP damage. Actually, I want to use her third skill so she gets more NP refund, but that would remove the taunt, and I actually don't want to do that. We do yeet the attack buff too, which is nice. I don't think this will break though, because the NP won't do any damage. I have to get Mori's NP is the thing. I'm hoping for a lucky crit next turn. We're gonna need it. If we need to break and then get a crit. Fuck! I don't think she would have broken, honestly. She didn't have a Buster card starter and everything. I don't think she would have broken. Like, her damage is terrible. Fuck it. I guess we use a 70 Mori just because the 100 Mori is so... The difference is so minor. I don't want to, you know, use the Grailed unit for the first time when it's literally one hand, extra hand. And yeah, sure, every time you get that hand, you're going to curse your fate for not using the Grailed one, but... I think we're going to need to level a BC Brawn and stuff like that. We need better options. Like, absolutely, this team can work, but the RNG you need is just nuts. I mean, you need so much things. Like your win rate's probably like 2% or some crap like that. The one good thing about this is he won't evade when he doesn't take a bunch of damage, but it's literally a turn going into the void. Jesus. You gotta give it to Lee though, he's really cool. We finally got Buster Art. That's nice. It's unfortunately on turn 2, but like you want this on turn 1, right? Because then you break, and you know you get your NP, and you're already on the next health bar, right? Like. Got the bad command code again. God damn it! It's a fucking 10% damage difference. Like, that's quite big. Thankfully, we got it anyway. We don't have our NP, though. Very close to having it. 10% off. God. See, this is where... it's like, what the fuck? We just need Mori to somehow not die here. But you could just cast Guts, you know. Means he might not die to a normal attack. If he gets NP'd, he's dead no matter what. But we need him to NP one of the other casters. Huh. Mori, live one more turn! Why do you only do fucking 46k? Hit chin, hit chin, hit chin, hit chin. Hit him, motherfucker! I hate him. That's so much damage gone right there. He had his NP ready to go. Nope. All is lost. I should have cast that next turn. That was a mistake. That could have been the run. That could have been the run if Mori had not died there. Especially if Medea hadn't died there. It's now we're back in the same boat. Like you get good luck at the start, but then you get worse luck later, so nothing changes. Like you have to get Mori's NP off on the second health bar. Like there's no way it's gonna happen without it. And even then, you're still gonna need good RNG. Lancer Coup is better than Caster Coup here by a lot. How can you not know what that CE does? It's like the basic AF CE. Like I get asked all the time what's every CE ever, but they're normally at least like, you know, limited CEs or something. I guess that shows how little people use 3-star craft essences. Which is always funny because then people always give me a hard time when I do use non-3-star craft essences. It's like, well, people, you know, don't have gold CEs. It's like, yeah, right. The main reason you use it if you're using 3-star CEs is because it has a way higher attack stat than other 3-star CEs. It's like Black Grail, how Black Grail randomly has that bonus 400 attack. It's got a bonus attack like that where it's just more. So between that and the Buster Up, it's actually an okay amount of damage. Like generally you cannot get more than 600 attack on a 3-star CE, but that one can get like 1,000, which is just way more than what you would normally get. This might break, but it won't work because we will be nowhere on NP gain. This probably won't break either. It'll get close, but I don't think it will. It's so sad though because almost all of these hands would break if we had our Mystic Code. Yeah, for this to work, I think you would probably need one of the other units to have a Buster card. You get a Buster Chain. Yep. Oh, this is just heart-crushing. I had a soul once, chat. I should have used Medea's third skill just to get more MP gain on Mori. Oh my god. Wouldn't have mattered because he one-shot Mori anyway. What's a Buster card, by the way? There's just so much RNG in this, dude. But it's like, when you don't have, like, good enough units with enough value, that's all you can do, right? Like, the more out of reach it is, the more RNG is gonna matter. But there are no units that are gonna, like, turn that around. I do think, though, like, a VC Brawn and stuff like that will really help, though. But even with them, it's gonna be an art. This fight is, with 1 of 3 stars, 1 of 0 craft essences, no matter what you do, this fight is gonna be an RNG shit show. Pretty sure Clown Boy has an upgraded NP, I just haven't gotten it yet. Probably need to do that, because again, we need every bit of value we can get here. But I'm definitely going to break the rules on this account soon, because it's just getting to the point where the value that is called for you is just not reasonable anymore, and it just results... I'm not having to come up with better strategies or anything like that, right? It's not like a gameplay thing. It's just the stat requirement is so out of your reach at this point that it's just coming down to way more RNG than it was back in the day, right? And that's just not fun. That's not really the point of the account. But I do want to see if we can at least get through Lostbelt 3. This won't work. I think you just don't go boom yet. You have to do one of those. We have to wait a turn things. But I mean, again, losing a turn is such a big deal. Yeah, it's not even fun. Like, sometimes it's fun when streamer is failing, but it's not fun when it's just it's the same thing over and over again until you get lucky, right? Like, I'm not changing the strategy because there's no other strategy even worth using. Like, it's boring, right? Like, I have no problem with, you know, like Zeus was fun. I remember when we were struggling with that, right? But like, this is not fun. This is just repetitive. And honestly, using Grailed units is barely going to make a difference here. Like, it'll barely change anything. This is not gonna work. Just roll net 23 times and you win pretty much. Yeah, I may break the rules for this because it's stupid. And like, the other option is I go farm for like a month, right? Because I'm not gonna sit here grinding on this account, right? I only acquire things on this account when I do events on it, right? I'm not gonna go grind free quests nonstop for hours and hours and hours. I'm not going to do that, like, that's not going to happen. I value my free time more than that. Because it's, you know, the strategy is not going to really change, right? That's pretty much the best strategy, you know, roughly that you can have, unless you know, level up like 30 different units. Because like, to really get different options, you'd need to level Darius, you'd need to level a BC Braun, you need to level Babbage, then you gotta get your skill ranks up. I mean, you know, it's either go farm free quests for ages or wait until the events roll around, right? And I'd rather not do either of those things. We could just change the CEs. That's another thing. I feel like it's more reasonable to just change the CEs instead of grailing and whatnot. Because like any CE we could replace them with are things that are like easily obtained, but you could have way better options with different CEs. Alright, I'm gonna play the main account a little bit. I wanna just relax. That was frustrating. Like, yeah, whenever it's not fun, that's when I wanna like break the rules. Because a lot of the other stuff we struggled on this account was actually fun, and you could clearly see, like, you know, ways to improve and stuff. This is nothing but RNG, and there's nothing fun about that. And I gotta hook up my phone. I didn't have it hooked up. Oh god, I do need to try that Samsung Next update thing. I tried Samsung Next in the Next or Dex or whatever in the past, and I hated it. But if it's better now, I might try it. Because Samsung Flow is just awful. Like, just getting it to register that your phone is even connected is so fucking difficult. Like, a lot of times, even though it's like plugged in and everything like how it's supposed to be, it just will not pick it up, and the only way to get it to pick it up is to like, close the program and restart it, which is actually really hard to do because Samsung Flow is one of those idiot programs that when you close it, it doesn't actually close. And then the worst thing about it is definitely the fact that it doesn't remember your screen size, because for streaming, you know, you have to have the screen fit the like the window and everything. And Flow doesn't do that. Actually, I should play my ult account, but I can play both. Because whenever I'm just gonna dick around and blow apples, I'd rather do it on my ult, because it's got so many more apples than my main has. And I don't need them as much either. Although I haven't needed apples on my main in a while, because there hasn't been a main story in a long time. And there hasn't been any challenge quests, really, other than we had that one, but I mean, like, Agfest didn't have any. Yeah, I'll jump on the ult and we'll just, like, dick around with... God, literally no one slots scared anymore. It's so annoying. Like, it's so way better for doing this kind of thing, and it's just like, yes, I need 30 Castorias, guys, because, you know, you can totally summon more than one at a time, right? I mean, Genshin Impact doesn't have the apple thing yet, but they will eventually. Honestly, they're taking, in my opinion, a lot of the quality of life updates they're going to add in 1.1, they should have just already added. Like, the gameplay stuff I would assume isn't ready yet, and so fair enough. But a lot of the quality of life stuff they should have already implemented because it's bothering the player base so much. Right? Like, everyone hates the resin system so much. And they're getting, in 1.1, they're going to make, like, the cap higher and the amount that you need slightly lower. And they're also going to add, if you can't play that day or you don't feel like it or whatever, you can turn your AP into an apple, right? So between those two things, that makes it a lot better. But they're making people wait like over a month for that to get added. And I'm like, you should probably just add that right away, even if you have to do a hotfix, which costs money, but I think it's worth it. Because the game got so popular so fast, you really want to put a good... You don't want to be like, okay guys, there's a lot of problems, and we'll fix them in like a month and a half, right? Like, that's not what you want to do. You need to get... Because a lot of people are going to have quit by the time 1.1 comes out. Like, it's just a fact. I mean, a lot of people are going to have quit by the time 1.1 comes out. Where if they had just hotfixed some of that stuff in, like quality of life stuff, that would have cut down on that a good bit. The Tam is probably the hardest support to find, which sucks because she's so useful for really hard content. And even for farming, there's a lot of 3-turn setups that don't need Castoria, they just want the high MP refund from the art up and an MP up. Yeah, I agree with Rex. The thing that she power crept was Joan of Arc, not Tam. Tam is actually better than ever right now, actually. People just don't realize it. But Tam with Castoria is so much more busted than double Castoria. And there's just so much unique utility that Tam offers. Like, yeah, it's not that applicable for farming, but there's so many ways to 3-turn farm anyway, who gives a shit? Like, you can 3-turn with Tam, you can 3-turn with Castoria, you can 3-turn with Scatty, you can 3-turn with, like, Spartacus Arash nonsense. Like, it just doesn't matter. Alright, let me go to my ult. I wanted to use some AP so I don't, like, accidentally whiff or anything, but, play the ult. It's so easy, though, to clear this event in the long run. Like, you could so easily just use your AP naturally every day and, clear this event in time. There's, like, no point in, using apples, but I'm just doing it to goof off and look at some bullshit units or something. That's not true. There's all kinds of ways to get around Castoria. Like, there's buff block, and as you say, buff removal, but there's also people that attack multiple times with really high damage. Because once you overcharge her, you're not going to have the full turn worth. But then, yes, also buff removal. Buff removal's her biggest problem. Oh yeah, and insta-death too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics that get around. This is NA. I do this so often. I think it's because I accidentally added NA to secure folder. I'm pretty sure that's the reason this keeps happening. But yeah, Caster or Toria very much power crept Joan of Arc. Like, there are very, very, very specific circumstances where Joan of Arc can still be better, especially because she's a ruler. So, you know, if the support themselves needs to be tanky, that can be good. And sometimes stun is really good and things like that. So there are very, very specific circumstances where Joan of Arc is still better, but it's very rare. Like, it is very, very rare. So it's like thunder. You can probably hear it. It's thundering like crazy outside right now. Yeah, it's storming like a mofo. It might actually wreck my internet, so we'll see. I hate this event. This event is so boring, and like the main story is a joke. I'm literally gonna have to like fight. I haven't made a video for FGO in so long because we haven't had any content worth a flying fuck in so long. The only thing I can even think of that would be even remotely interesting in this event is trying to fight the fucking final boss in the main story. That's a lancer with an archer, and even then I think it'd be really easy. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like gonna stop playing FGO for a long time and then come back to it when they actually bother to do something, because I'm losing my mind with this game. Like, I've lost patience with how slow and how bad they are and how complicit they are with the game being in this like laughable state and then just not adding anything. I'm so sick of them just like throwing out these generic events that are nothing and, you know, reruns that are nothing. I'm just so fucking tired of it. Like, I'd rather try like playing, you know, like with Darkest Dungeon or whatever for a while and shit like that, and Yeast Origins and all that. I'd rather just mess around and do those things until they actually get off their ass. Like, they can't even give us free quests worth of fuck anymore. It's like, great. I do want to play Yeast Origins though. The reason I haven't tried Darkest Dungeon is I feel like if I try to stream that, I'm just going to get backseated to do it in Infinity no matter what I do, and I'm not going to have any fun, and I'm going to want to murder chat. Like, every time you try to stream a game that's already got an established community and it's been out for a long time, you attract that kind of thing like so much, and people trying to show off, and I just like, I can't stand that shit. Why did I just do that combo? The thing is, that's bad too. Like, it's very bad for your stream to go in follower or subscriber only mode, especially subscriber only mode, because it's not like every new person is bad, right? And for streams to survive, you ultimately have to bring in new people, right? That's just an unfortunate side of, you know, it's like the reality of it, right? And so if you always are in follower mode or subscriber mode, your stream will die. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing more Dragon's Dogma. I never did finish St. George. Gotta get the problem is because it's so much harder to get Ascalon now. It used to be so easy to get it because you used to be able to kill the online version of the dragon, and he drops way more loot. And so getting Ascalon would be really easy. Where now you have to fight the offline version of the dragon, which is so much slower. But the online version of the dragon is like unkillable now because he's got so much health and no one plays the game anymore. So like the online version, because basically the online version of the dragon shares the health pool across everyone playing the game, and you're all like fighting it together basically. But because no one plays that game anymore, that's not really a thing. And also every time you kill the online dragon, he respawns with more health. And so because the game's been out for a long time, his health is ungodly high now, and no one else is trying to kill him, so it's like impossible. But you gotta get Ascalon on St. George, right? Like a crime not to do that. Before we actually lose this, because I'm not paying attention. The slow-mo doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't stop someone from being obnoxious or spoiling things or that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, isn't Siegfried the like companion we were using? I forgot about that. That really was a good time. The Dragon's Dog now. Because man, you could make St. George pretty accurately in that game. Like they had like the hairstyle and everything. Like you could make a character look super similar to him. And the thing is, I don't know how to explain this, right? And like, because I've said this before, I don't really have the personality type that you would really want to be a streamer, right? I don't have a lot of patience and tolerance for people like trying to show off and backseating and spoiling, right? I have no tolerance for that kind of thing. And like, it's not just a matter, like mods deleting things doesn't change that it's obnoxious to have people like yipping yapping over your shoulder all the time when you're trying to play a game, right? Like, I just don't have I don't enjoy that experience, right? Like, it just puts me in a really bad mood, and you're not gonna have a good stream, right? Like right now, I'm in a really bad mood, right? It's not good for streaming. Well, the one reason I'm in a bad mood right now is because there's nothing to do, right? There's just the game is dead, right? Like and when the game is dead, it's like, oh, let's go do story replay, and let's go fight some bosses and try some different setups and stuff. Oh, right, this game doesn't have story replay because it's designed by 12-year-olds. Actually, I'd imagine most 12-year-olds it could figure out how to code well enough to have story replay, honestly, if they were actually invested in learning how to code. There's plenty of young yipper-snappers out there that actually learn how to code at a pretty young age these days, so... But yeah, I think next stream is probably just gonna be me trying something new, like a new game, because it's like... F-Go just sucks right now. Like, it sucks. I like the game, I like the art style, when they have good bosses, it's very interesting and engaging, and, I like the voice acting, but it's like, it's just, I'm so tired of these trash events, and it's been trash events for so long now. And it's like, I'm lucky enough that I don't need to maintain, like, I don't need, like, maximum viewers and all that to survive and everything, so I'm just gonna... I'd rather go do other things for fun. Because I'm not having fun in F-Go anymore. Like, I'm just not. Like, I am when certain things happen, right? Like, yesterday I had fun, because we were actually getting to fight bosses yesterday, right? We were doing Lostbelt 1, I was having fun. And like I could definitely still have fun on like my newbie account. I'd rather just wait though. I don't want to blow through Lostbelt 3 and never get to play it again, right? I want to get Bonta and Herc and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, it's so hard to have fun in this game anymore because they don't add content anymore. Like I do still enjoy the new account where we're just just playing through the game and doing the main story. Like I always have fun doing the main story, but I don't want to, waste Lostbelt 3. Like, I feel like I should just play F-Go again whenever they add a new main story. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's worth my time anymore. Yeah, I guess we could, that's true. I didn't really think about that. That's a good idea, Zaw. We should be doing... You know what, for the remainder of the stream, that's what I'm gonna do. Because this is boring as hell what I'm doing right now. And that we might, why not, right? That we get Hurt Bond when we do that, and here, let me complete this stage though. Let's not be that lazy. I kind of forgot Epic of Remnant existed. That's a good idea though. Well, I don't really care if other people are enjoying stuff. I care if I'm enjoying it. Because there's literally nothing... There's nothing, like, look at this event. This event is shit, right? I don't care if you're still having fun just, playing the default game or whatever, but it's like, they didn't add anything. This is just a generic rerun. They didn't do an animation update, there's no new costumes, there's no new content. I don't have fun fucking farming. That's not fun. That's monotonous trash, right? Like, wow, let me just 3-turn this node over and over again for hours. Wow, this is so engaging, guys, because I haven't been doing that forever, right? Like, I don't care about that stuff. And these stages aren't, they're so easy, you don't do anything. It's not like, oh, we're gonna do something that we don't normally do here, or if you want to try to handicap yourself and solo it or something, you might actually have to work and you can try out chats units, right? Now that can be a lot of fun using chats units, right? And, you know, showing off what they've done, what units they like and stuff. But this content is so boring, I can't even do that. Like, wow, gotta fight a boss with 20k health. Great. Like, it's not just me, man. This isn't just an oh, green man is just, you know, burnt out. It's not that at all. Like, first of all, when I'm playing for fun, right? I'm actually fighting a boss or something worth a damn. I still have as much fun as I've ever had, right? I'm not burnt out. It's the game not adding like content anymore, right? We don't get hard content anymore. Like, the main stories used to have like at least a few boss fights that were worth messing around with, and you could use chats units on them and stuff. You don't do that anymore. The final boss of this event has 100,000 health. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? Like, it's like, wow, this is engaging. Like, a lot of people, there's a reason FGO's profits have been tanking lately, right? It's not just Green Man. It's because they're not putting in the effort anymore, and there's a lot of other games out there that are putting in the effort, so people aren't, they don't care anymore. And I don't blame them, because it's like, this is, the DW's attitude is not acceptable, right? And you can go, oh, I'm so tired of hearing people complain about it, right? It's like, it's the game's fault. Right? It's just a fact. It's like we used to get like 3 or 4 stories a year. Now we get 1 or 2. Right? They used to make main stories and events that were actually worth a damn. Now they don't. We used to get animation updates, you know, more regularly. Now we don't. Right? They used to you know, actually, you know, like make content for the game. Right? And now it's just reruns forever and bad reruns. Like, remember Good at Final? Right? Remember that event? You know, that was designed for new players, so it was an easier event, but they had a lot of optional content that was more difficult. Right? Now, when they do events that are aimed at new players, it's just a snores fest for anyone that's been playing the game for more than a month. Like, wow, I want to be engaged with these bosses with 100,000 health. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it is funny that if you look at the Good of 4 event and how good it was and how much content it added, like, first off, seriously, look at how much content it added, right? They added a bunch of new units, right? And then there was just loads of bosses and stages to do on the side. Loads of them! And if you wanted them to be more interesting and like actually have gimmicks, you didn't use the story support. If you use the story support, you removed their gimmicks, and if you don't use the story support, they actually have gimmicks that you had to deal with, right? So new players can do it, and veteran players can, you know, still have something interesting to do, right? So they added a bunch of new units, added loads of new bosses, they're all very worth doing, and they had a challenge quest. It actually had a challenge quest. You know, Hagfest didn't even have a challenge quest, for God's sakes. You know, and then Good of 5 was nothing. I mean, it was just nothing. Yeah, they just skipped. You just skipped that that rerun. It's gonna. I think they'll bring it back in a main interlude at some point, but. All right, let's see. We already did Shimosa. I guess we just start with the first one because I mean they're all pretty much as good of each other. To start with the first one. The first one's actually probably harder than a lot of the other ones. Lobo is no joke. The Avenger fight with him. Yeah, I know, they saw the new Quick Game mode, which was temporary, as at the challenge quest, which was stupid because it wasn't even remotely difficult. It was, you know, the new game mode was nice, but again, it was a fleeting thing that was gone in, you know, no time. Yeah, they're getting carried by the Fate IP, a million percent. And it's a little bit more than that. They're also, the artists are making good art independently of it being Fate, right? Like the artists do good work. The music is done well. The voice acting is done well, right? There's a lot of stuff that are done well in this game. It just has nothing to do with. I mean, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of like They do almost nothing, and then you wait all this time for them finally to put out an event, and it's just another generic-ass event. You know, I mean, it's like, seriously, I'm just so tired of these events that offer nothing. And it's like, oh, just farm. Oh, yeah, and then the farming is going to be really boring, too. It's like, I'm just so fucking tired of that. Yeah, the story is still fine, the characters are still fine. You know, when they do bother to make bosses, they're great. Like, when they actually bother to make good bosses, they're still totally fine. I mean, all I would really need to like, get through these boring periods would just have story replay. If I'm like, okay, this event is just aimed at fucking retards, and it's just like, oh man, we gotta make sure those, you know, 2-week-old players can beat the event without using their brain, so we're gonna make every bit of content in the entire event brain dead, then I could just go do story replay, and there's a million bosses, and I could just, you know, do different setups and use chats, units, and solo things. Like, you know, that'd be totally fine. I'd have no problem with that. But this game can't even give us story replay for some fucking reason. Which is like one of the most basic game mechanics. Like, I ask for it all the time because it's like, can this house have walls? Can we have a lock on the door? Right? It's like, it's just such basic shit. But yeah, I think we'll just do like Epic of Remnant and that kind of thing, and then I'll just start playing some other games, because I'm tired of being disappointed in FGO. And like, I'll still play it, and I'll still make videos for it when something comes out, right? When they actually do make something worth my time, then I will. But when there's nothing worth my time, I'm not gonna waste my time on it. Like, I'm not gonna bend over backwards trying to make this game worth a fuck. I've been wanting to play other games anyway. Like, I've been wanting to just goof off and try some other things. I could play Ninja Gaiden, but I've already streamed it once before. So I don't know if I kind of want to try something new. And it really is disappointing when it comes to hold on, chat. I'm gonna like really quick reset the stream. I want this part to be in a different VOD. That way I can keep it for like the playlist for this account. So it's just like 2 seconds and you just restart here.